is up, Nurse Coach homies? Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I have Wifey. Here, and it's going to be really special because we are actually in the place that we met, at Linda Vista Skate Park in San Diego, California. This is the very first place that we met, and Bobby, you wanted to do it here. Can you tell us a little bit about why you wanted to do it here at Linda Vista?
Well, Linda Vista is just a really special place, not only for us, obviously we met here, but it was like one of the many places that I learned how to skate, and I feel like it just is a full circle moment to be like, yeah, let's just go to the place. Let's have some people skating behind us, and yeah.
You also mentioned you wanted to do it because we're in the middle of a transition. And this area, like some of these areas where there's little ramps and there's divots and things like that, some of those are called transition. So yeah. Tell me a little bit about why you wanted to kind of create that like parallel there.
It was really funny because it is literally transition skating here. And then it's also, we're in the middle of a transition. This is one of the last days that we're going to be in San Diego. We're moving to Seattle, and what better place to have it literally in a transition skate place, but also in a place that almost feels like a full circle moment where we started here, and this is one of the last places we can kind of like hang out and
we met here March 6th of 2022.
Yes.
And this is probably the last time we'll be at Linda Vista Skate Park for a while because we're heading up to Seattle. We're going to do the rest of the year traveling, which will be really fun. We don't look like we're skateboarders because we're in Birkenstocks. Like, what is this all about?
I am actually wearing a Vans t-shirt, which it in fact means that I am a skater.
That means the audience will know. Yeah, I stubbed my toe really hard last night, so that's why I'm in sandals. I don't know what your excuse is.
Just, good old air between the toes. It looked like a good idea when you put them on. I was like, yes, absolutely.
I love it. There's so many directions I want to go with this podcast episode. Part of me just wants to be like, what's it like being married to me?
Oh my gosh.
But I feel like I don't even want to know.
No,
I'm scared.
I feel like it's a beautiful thing where you're literally kind of the same person wherever you go, like on your podcast, on around friends, and just in the work environment. Like that's kind of like Micah. When she's with me, like she's like very vague. I'll be like, what are we doing tonight? And you're like, stuff with people. And I'm like, just pretend I'm your client. Let's like make it a little more exciting.
I know. I like to push your buttons.
You do.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I got to know everything, all the details all at once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trust it. Yeah.
It's like you're pushing me to be more detailed, and I'm pushing you to accept the vagueness, to trust the experience.
Yeah. You're like, we're going to dinner. And I'm like, that didn't answer anything that
I love it. So being married to me is vague. I love that.
It's fun. It is like go with the flow. Everything's not like a big deal. I think you've taught me a lot about how to just trust, and it doesn't have to be so intense. Like attaching a lot. I think it's very easy for me to be like, oh, this is like really intense. It's an all or nothing moment. It needs to be a big deal. And I think detaching from that and detaching from the outcome is a large thing that I've learned. Also, just like honestly trusting the universe has been a big one, and like surrendering.
Yeah.
But a beautiful gift. Like I feel like there's me that who I was like before I met you, and this beautiful like development of like me as I've like not only been loved by you, but like see how you walk through the world and being inspired in that way. And I think that's a gift that you just keep giving other people. So I'm very lucky to be.
I was bracing for impact.
You were?
So that wasn't too bad.
No, I'm very kind.
I don't know. I'm scared.
You could work on like relaying dinner details to me. And maybe closing some cabinets.
Like to keep a surprise. Sometimes I'm like, just get in the Uber, let's go.
Honestly, I think that is like trusting. Yeah, I'm like, I know this person has like my best intent, like best intentions in mind, and like wouldn't like steer me wrong.
I know that for you, details create safety, and I feel like we've been learning a lot about each other, and even in this transition, like you want to have all the details of like what's it going to look like, and where are we going to go, what's going to happen, and I think because, and maybe it's like the travel nurse, like the ex-travel nurse in me is just like, it's fine. Like, we'll just go do 3 months here and 3 months here, and we'll figure out what we're going to fit in our car and things like that.
Yeah.
But there is definitely like I think for some folks that maybe haven't experienced such like spontaneity, I don't even know what to call it, but like the ability to just kind of get up and go and kind of not really know what the outcome is going to be and be okay with that. I think that can be a little bit scary.
I think like that isn't the next big thing that I will probably learn from you. I feel like, I mean, a lot of people have been travel nurses or just like nursing in general. When I met you, you were phasing out of the travel nurse phase. Like you had put roots down in San Diego and you were kind of like staying in one place for a little bit. And so that was like, oh yeah, you know, I've been here. Like I've stayed in one place, you know, every couple years I will move around. But I think this is like the biggest challenge, but also one of the biggest ways that I feel like I can grow like with you and learn from you again. And again, it's going to be like so uncomfortable. Like this is the furthest I moved away from my home, and like, you know, we've planted roots here and like starting over. Like this is a big like multi-state move. Something that you're like very familiar with from like travel nursing, but it's nice to like have you along with me, and I think it'll be fun to learn how to go with the flow and travel a little bit more and be spontaneous and not have like a whole year planned out, but you know, just look at the next 3 months. And there's something refreshing about that. It's like, you know, I feel like it takes a lot of stress off of it, but also like, you know, for someone who's coming into it can be a little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah. I guess we haven't even really talked about this. Maybe I don't even think I introduced you. I just said wifey.
Yes.
This is Bobby. And Bobby and I are going to be traveling the rest of the year. I guess our first step will be in Seattle, but we don't really know what's next after that. And I think this is a really fun place to be in. It's also a scary place to be in. Can you talk a little bit about, like, first of all, why are we doing this? Second of all, what's your experience been just being willing to kind of get up and go?
Well, to answer your first question, I think we're doing this because I think we want some fresh starts, like some new roots. Like also, you've been in San Diego for like 6 years. I've been in San Diego for about 3 years. And it was kind of like this, if not now, if like not now, when are we going to do it? And like, we're always going to say that we want to do it, but like, when are we going to take like actionable steps to do it? And it was just the lease was up and then we started hunting and then like things started falling into place. I think at first we were like, I don't know if we're meant to do this. And then like things like started like piecing together and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, I think this is like going to work out. Same thing, like, you know, I think with any transition that we've kind of had, it's like, you know, is this meant to happen? And then when it finally like starts to like the puzzle pieces start to fall together, you're like, okay, cool. You know, there's a little bit of friction at first. You're like, is this, you know, trying to listen to everything?
Yeah.
But I think we're really trying to do it to do something like be refreshed. I think we're looking for new inspiration. I think we're looking for like going to new places can bring up new things, bring up new creativity, and like also just to say that we like did it and to explore, you know? And that's something that's very much alive in both of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have a need for novelty.
Yeah.
I think.
Absolutely.
I am pretty used to like moving around quite a bit. And so this being the longest I've really ever lived in a place since growing up in Kentucky, I feel like there was this need to like get out again, like try new things, meet new people, be in new environments. And yeah, we found out two of our best friends are going to be there. And another two of our best friends have already lived in Seattle for a while. And we thought, when's the next time like both of these couples are going to be in the same place at the same time? Let's take advantage of that.
Yes.
And I think being in a position right now where we work for ourselves, we own our own businesses, we can work from anywhere. I think this is like such a mind-boggling experience for me personally, just because I'm like, we're literally experiencing the thing that we dreamt of one day. Like,
oh my God.
And the only reason that we're now able to like experience the thing that we dreamt of one day is because we've been willing to do things without seeing all of the steps ahead of us and choosing to trust that if we just keep taking steps forward, knowing that we're going in the right direction because we're following what feels alive, we're just trusting that we can create the path, that even if it doesn't exist, that we can be the ones to create it. As somebody that has your own business and has been kind of operating as an entrepreneur, whether or not it really feels that way, you know, you are a tattoo artist now, but have had your own graphic design business and things like that. What has it been like for you pursuing something that does come with a lot of risk and isn't completely laid out before you?
I mean, I think even pursuing, to give you guys some context, I was a graphic designer for like 9, almost 10 years before making the transition to tattoo artist. And that was a very long transition. It took about like 3 years, I'd say, fully to get to where I am now, where I was like, I'm like 2 months booked out. Like, you know, I'm charging what feels good to be charging. Like, I'm in a place that I've like never dreamed of. I got into a shop that I absolutely love. And like, that was a very long transition process. And then I finally got into like this shop that loved the environment. Everything was so perfect. And then it feels like I'm doing this thing again where I'm like, I need to leave and travel and, you know, kind of do my own thing again. Like that was the goal, was to be able to work from anywhere, like for us to travel. Like that was something that we definitely wanted to do together. So being in a place where I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna give up maybe a little bit of like consistency and like pursue something that is a little bit more risky and might not be as far booked out as I'm used to being, but I'm gonna trust this process of kind of going and learning from new artists and new people and new shops and exploring new things. And like that's kind of the trade-off. I've always like, also we've touched so much on like our human design charts where it's like the novelty, like I need details. Also, you know, the rebirth is another big thing in mine where I'm like, yeah, it can be good and it can be safe and it can be predictable. And it's like right in that like moment where it's like all of those things, I'm like, I gotta start over. Like my in my chart, it's the phoenix, like it's the death and rebirth. Like I was like, that is like a huge thing. But I think that's, you know, amplified in my business. Yeah. Like I had the graphic design business and I was like, not working. Cool. I got into the shop and I had this consistency and then I was like, love this, but I need more. And it's like always a challenge to give up something that feels so safe and being like, I worked so hard to get here, but also listening to the calling of knowing there's something more and not being afraid to go after it, even when it's like so uncertain.
Yeah. That's the scary part.
It's so scary.
That's the scary part. And not only that, I think we mentioned in our last episode, which if you guys haven't checked that out, Saying Yes to a New Path was the one Bobby and I did before. We talked all about stepping out of one career path and into a completely new one and some things to consider as you're making a transition like that.
Yeah.
But I think something that we hit on was it's also really hard to know that you've just paid like for your education and you've gone through years for that education and you've worked really hard to get to a point, and then when you get there and you're looking around you and you're like, wait, I actually don't know that I want to do this anymore, that can really like shatter your reality in a lot of ways, because you're like, wait a second, I kind of built like an identity around this. And I think that's hard to let go of, is the identity that's built around the thing that you've worked really hard for. And so especially for nurses, I think that's a really common thing, is like you build so much of an identity around being a nurse and self-sacrificing and being the martyr and things like that, that I think when it comes time to being like, I actually want to do something for me, what can be really challenging about that is not just the lack of safety and knowing all of the steps in front of you, but also giving up the identity of the older version of you. And I think there's something that's being asked of you, which you were talking about this earlier. You said if you're going to do something that you've never done, you have to become someone that you've never been before.
Yeah.
What has some of these transitions in your life called you into becoming?
Oh my gosh. There's like so much.
It's a big question.
That is like a big question, because I don't think that I can touch on this like in a professional sense without like touching on it like personally. Like I think they're definitely intertwined when you want to become somebody you don't want to, like letting go of somebody you don't want to be anymore and like becoming somebody that you want to be. I've had to let go of a lot of things. Like I've gone through personal development and, you know, understanding that even like substances, like people in my life that have been there, or just like activities that are like no longer serving me, like things that I needed to like let go in order to step into like this version of myself that I knew that I wanted to be. Like, speaking candidly, I was like, I stopped drinking. Like, I stopped taking prescriptions. Like, I started stepping into like this bigger, bolder version of myself, but I was able to like have more time doing that. I was able to like set intentions and to feel more aligned, but all those things were extremely like hard to let go of. The past limiting beliefs that I had were like, you can't hold on to these anymore. They still pop up, obviously, but you know, it's the whole professional development can't happen without the personal development.
Yeah.
And like thinking that I'm not good enough, like that is one of those huge ones that like always comes back. I'm like, am I good enough? Now, do I deserve to be here? And like that's like one of those mentalities.
And what happens when that pops up? What do you do?
I'd be really compassionate for her. I'd be really compassionate. I think like switching the way that you respond to that voice is like absolutely like huge. You can be on that spiral. You're like, I don't know why I'm thinking like this way. I think, you know, like, I don't know, like you're feeding it this insecurity and you're like, I understand approaching it with like compassion and love and being like, I know you're like just trying to help me and like, thank you. But like, why not me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's, switching it from fear to love. That's also something that I've learned in this relationship. It's like, you like so many things can like stem out of fear, insecurity, you know, just generalized fear, like not thinking you're good enough. All those things are rooted in fear. But if you switch it like really to love and compassion, I think you have a much wider range and capacity to like deal with those things, because you can just like spiral on it.
Yeah.
Like the other day, what was I was like having a bad mood morning and I came across something, and you know, when you're faced in like a situation, this guy was like explaining a reframe and he says, well, what if you reframed it as to, what would this look like if it were fun? And then I automatically started playing Queen. I started dancing.
Yeah.
I took a shower and I had a great fucking day. Sorry. But yeah, it was just like one of those things where it's like, what would this look like if it were fun? And I think you can even do that.
Yeah.
With your life. Long ramble, but
no, I'm about that. Like as you know, one of my business pillars is fun, because I think fun is sustainable. Like anything that feels like stress and overwhelmed and anxiety is not going to create something in your mind that you're like, I want to keep doing this. Yeah. But anything that's really fun and allows you to feel fully alive while you're doing it, you could do that day in, day out, week in, week out. You know, like that's actually where, in my mind, that's where sustainability comes from, is when things are made fun, because then you can keep showing up for it. And having a good time, I think, is also something that people want to be around. It's like magnetic. When people are just having fun, you're like, I want something like that. Like I want a piece of that, you know? And I think that's also part of like why I want to do something like this, is because I just want to live a life that is so fucking fun and fully alive, and anything that might feel scary but also feels really exciting, I want to be willing to take the fear for the excitement. Yeah. Willing to like choose that I'm going to follow these nudges of passion and fun and excitement and joy. And yes, all of these little things are going to pop up around like, well, what if it doesn't work out? What if it fails? What if you fall on your face? Like, cool. Then I can go back to what I was doing, you know? Like one of the things that I ask nurses all the time is like, what's the worst that could happen if you like start this business and it doesn't work out for you? And they're like, I'd have to go back to my job. And I'm like, but aren't you currently working that job? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that the worst case scenario is the current circumstances that you're already living in. So why not try it? You know, and that's kind of how I'm approaching this, is like, okay, we leave San Diego. Yeah. worst that happens is we hate everywhere else that we live and come back to San Diego.
Yeah.
Like with people that care about us here, the community here. I know your shop that you've been working in would happily take you back.
Yeah.
So there's like no real downside to these things. And like, of course you can fail, and of course things couldn't work out. And of course, like you could deplete your savings and things like that. Like all of those are real valid concerns. But I think they're so minuscule when it comes to like being in the face of the alternative consequence, which is living a life that you're miserable in, or living a life that you hate, or living a life that you're maybe comfortable in but isn't really challenging you or isn't pushing you, or you have these nudges and you never follow them, and so you grow to resent yourself and things like that. Like I would much rather take all of the other consequences, and I think that's something that you and I have had a lot of conversations around and have talked about, is just being willing to let the fear exist and choose to do the thing anyways. And I think that's part of what makes entrepreneurs successful, is like that they have the ability to also do that.
Yeah.
The ability to say, I'm going to allow this fear to be here. And like you said, hold space for compassion and allow it to just be what it is, which is usually just a scared version of us that's trying to protect us from something, and then actually show that version of us love and be willing to meet it where it's at and say, hey, it's okay that you exist here, but you're not going to dictate my decisions and control how I move forward. How do you think entrepreneurship has impacted our relationship?
Oh my, that's a really good question. It's funny because, as Micah previously said, we did a little podcast episode where we were talking about career transitions. And the funny thing is, like, when I moved down to San Diego, we were both making career transitions. Like, you were leaving nursing, I was leaving corporate graphic design and my business to, like, be a tattoo artist, which in my opinion is like an entrepreneur. I work for myself. People, hire me, even like for graphic design stuff. But it was like really fully like transitioning over. I think we understand each other in that way, where we have a deep, deep desire for freedom. And I think each time we get a taste of like that freedom, it's like, oh yes, like this is exactly like what we're looking for. Like the place that we're in right now, like the amount of that we're working and the amount that we're making, like
crazy,
was a dream 3 years ago. Like it, like even just make me working 2 to 3 days a week and then traveling whenever I want is it's mind blowing. Like I was crying in front of a computer 3 years ago. So when you're like asking me how entrepreneurship has affected our relationship, I think it has just allowed us to build the life that we want to live. And I feel like sometimes with friends, like years and years ago, I'd talk about like starting my own business and like I was crazy ambitious and like all those things. And I was like, I know that I need to do this. Like, I know that I need to do this. I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to work for myself. I want to make the decisions. I know I want all those things. And it was just like, I didn't know how to get there.
Yeah.
But time and yeah, it's fucking mind blowing. Like to be doing literally what we're doing right now.
Yeah. It's also just I feel like it's been such a spiritual journey being an entrepreneur, where you have to face so much shit. Like entrepreneurship is just holding up a mirror to you. And I feel like I've been saying this a lot, but sometimes it feels like, I don't want to see it anymore. Like I don't want to look. I don't want to like cover my eyes and be like, no, give me a break. Because it's always like holding up the stuff to you that are a lot of the, like you mentioned, limiting beliefs that you might have, a lot of the like character flaws that exist within us, especially when you're leading people. I know for you, like you work mostly on your own, but and our businesses are different. So me, someone that's like managing people and also facilitating communities and containers, when you're working very closely with people like this, I think it brings up a lot of your flaws and of the ways that you are still being called into that next version of you. And I think for me, like it's been really challenging to, first of all, learn how to deal with visibility and rejection. I'm like anybody else, right? Like I want to be liked by everyone. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to create conflict. Even like like trolls on the internet. Like that used to like really dysregulate me. And I've had to learn how to just let that stuff like just fall to the wayside and not really hold that much weight, and recognizing that you're going to go through rejection. You're going to pour your heart out into something and have somebody be like, yep, not for me. And you're like, oh, this feels like a personal rejection, but it's really just like, this person doesn't want to experience this work, at least right now. Yeah. So there's so many things like I know I've personally had to go through stepping into this new path. I know you were 3 years ago crying in front of a computer screen, being like, I'm miserable in this career path. I was probably like, not that long ago getting off shifts and crying in my car, being like, what am I doing with my life? Like I just went through all of this schooling, spent this money to get here, and I don't like this career path anymore. And I am also recognizing all the flaws that exist within the system that I'm just no longer willing to tolerate. And I think it's really hard to have to face that stuff and recognize that the person that you need to become in order to create the new path for yourself is going to be the most like intense spiritual journey of you choosing you choosing the dream, you choosing to continue to let fear not be the thing that drives you, because there is so much fear, because none of this is predictable. None of it is like, oh, when you do this, this immediately happens. It's like sometimes it takes a really long time to see the output that you get from the input.
Yes.
So what's some of the biggest things that you've had to learn, or some of the biggest qualities that you've had to step into to really be able to keep going with a path like this?
Oh, man. You got good questions. You're an incredible host.
Thank you.
Like it was just also just a general belief in myself. Like and I'm not gonna say like I'm consistent with that always. It is just like if not me, then who? Like I have a right to like be here just as much as like everybody, and like, I think just believing in yourself and like believing that this is like something that you're called to do. Like, and that's like passion, that's just like drive, like it's inside of you. It's like, how do I just work it out?
Yeah.
A self-confidence muscle that I'm constantly working. I mean, it's so easy to compare yourself to other entrepreneurs, other artists, other business people. You're like, their business is so, they're making this much money, they're doing like, and then it's like, no, actually just keep your head down. Keep your head down and like stay aligned. Also like staying in your lane. Like you can always make a business that's like exactly like somebody else's, but the world doesn't need that.
Yeah.
Everybody, like what it needs is for you to stay in alignment and create from alignment, because that's what's going to be the thing that attracts people. Like you don't want a cookie cutter thing of somebody else's, like making sure that it's coming from a place that is aligned and it's you, and outputting things, whether it's your business or like art from that. And honestly, like entrepreneurship is so much like art.
It is. I'd be saying that all the time. Like this is your art form.
It's like so many parallels too. It's like, you need to find new challenges and you need to figure things out, and like, sometimes putting yourself in a corner and like making it a little more challenging, you create like a different output. Like, it's all about like solving problems and creating from alignment, because that's what's like magnetizing. Like, have you ever interacted with a business that you're like, this is like,
Yeah, there's different styles. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm thinking about you as a tattoo artist. There's so many different styles of tattoos. Yeah. Different people have different ways of going about creating art and putting it on people's bodies. Like, you have traditional, you have like Japanese, you have illustrative, you have watercolor. I don't know.
Even like things in between. Like, people are recreating and creating new styles.
Yeah,
from like that already exists, and it's like the beautiful. I mean, even music, like remixing and
there's different genres.
Getting inspired by like what other people are doing and being like cool, and then like yes-anding it. Like it's almost like improv. Like there's such an art, and I think like even entrepreneurship, artistry, like businesses, like it all boils down to creativity. And like I think when people are like, I'm not creative, yes you are. Like yes you are. You just have not flexed that muscle. And you are putting yourself into a hole, saying that you are not creative, and like you're robbing yourself of the ability to not only like, it's not just art, like you're not just outputting art, but like you're creating a life, you're creating opportunities, you're creating all of these things that
experiences
like that were not there before. And I think if we just, when we put ourselves into like a creative hole or like a creative box, you're like, I can't make art. And it's like, cool, don't make art. Make something. Because that's the
we were born to create. We were born to make. I think humans are wired for that. But what I like to get at when I'm talking about entrepreneurship as an art form is like everyone has a unique style and there is something for everyone. Like someone might look at a certain tattoo artist style and be like, why would anyone get something like that on their body? But that person has this following of people that are so stoked on their style and their unique way of creating art. And it's like, if you're trying to be like everyone, if you're trying to be like someone that you're not, you won't give the world this beautiful opportunity to experience the greatest gift that you have to give it, which is you, the fullest expression of you and what you're here to create, what you're here to bring to life. And so I think I love to encourage people, especially that are just starting out. I love to encourage them to find ways of creating a business that feels like the fullest expression of them that maybe they don't see anywhere else. Let you be the person that gives yourself the permission to just show up and be like the fullest expression of you. And I know like authenticity can be talked about in a like maybe cliche way, but I genuinely think the way to become a category of one where you have zero competition is to just be you. Like you are the only person that has the ability to do that. And so find ways of like creating a business, creating a style, creating like for some people, you know, they're stepping into content creation. Cool. Find ways of doing that that feel really alive to you. If it's creating communities or group coaching containers, cool. Find ways that feel really exciting and alive to you, even if you've never seen it be done before.
Also, it like doesn't happen overnight. Like it is like small, gradual choices and pivots and like all these little things. And I mean, I was even paralleling skateboarding to like entrepreneurship. I mean, you're talking about like content creation. I feel like a lot of people, you know, are afraid to put content out there, be seen, be visible, like talk about their business because like, you know, other people are going to judge you. But I find that entrepreneurship is like a lot like skateboarding where it's like, yeah, people can be outside the park watching you being like, yeah, that's dangerous. I would never do that. Like, you know, it's cringe. Like that guy just fell. And like, yeah, but you get the respect because you're out there, you're trying. And also you're already doing stuff that a lot of people don't want to do or too afraid to do. So I think that puts you like way ahead of like kind of like this respect curve where I'm like, yeah, that's...
And you will never become good at skateboarding if you're not willing to fall.
Absolutely.
Like, this is the thing. And
you have to learn how to fall.
I was telling my clients this recently. I said, you know, I looked up these stats and this is all stuff that I found on like ChatGPT, so fact check me. But ChatGPT was telling me that the average free throw percentage of like NBA basketball player is like 70 to 80%. So we'll call it 75%. So they take 10 shots, they're making like 7 or 8. The average person's percentage is more like 10 to 30%. So we'll call that 20%. So they take 10 shots, they're probably only hitting 2.
Yeah.
So if you put them side by side and you give them each 10 shots, it's a no-brainer that the NBA player is going to win out. But if you put them side by side and you give the NBA player 10, but you give the average person 100, they're likely hitting about 20. Even on the low side, if they're only hitting 10%, they're hitting 10. This person's hitting like 7 or 8. The NBA player's hitting 7 or 8. So the more, and I know that's so cliche, like the more shots you take, the more chance you have of being successful. But like, just think about that. Like you could literally outperform the pros if you just did more.
Yeah.
If you just tried more, if you just put yourself out there more. Like, that's why I'm like, if you want to get really good at something, make it a habit to do it every day. Literally, like, do it every single day. If it's skateboarding, cool. Do it every day and fall every day. If you're falling every day, that means you're doing it and that means you're getting better.
Yep.
And there's no way that you're not making progress if you're like keeping at it. And so it's the same with anything. Like when you were learning to tattoo, I know that you were practicing all the time.
And when I was not practicing, I was like, I'd come back to it like once a week when I was like first beginning. I was like, why am I not any good at this? And then I'm like, okay, no, I have to sit down for like 3 hours every day and I have to practice this. And then I started tattooing. And it's like when you do it every day, like instead of like coming at it once a week and working on it once a week, then you're like...
And then you look at your first tattoos and the tattoos you're doing now.
Oh my God.
It's like, whoa. Yeah. Drastic difference.
Thank you to everybody who donated their skin on my early days. Yeah. I'll give you a free touch-up.
I just think it's so funny when people start out on a new path and they're like, okay, I want to step into this. I want to create my own business. And then they're like a couple months in and they're like, why isn't this working? Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you're a couple months in and you've only been going at it like once a week. Like, of course, you're not really progressing that much. You haven't really put in the schedule blocks, and just on a really like from a pragmatic standpoint, I really suggest people schedule blocking times to like do shit in their business, like practice things, practice connecting with new people, practice asking people if you can host a workshop in their space, in their community, practice getting on like calls with folks and getting to know them and doing like value trade calls, practice making content. Like if you literally schedule block that every day you're going to do something to help you move towards becoming better and better as an entrepreneur and as a new business owner, not only will it actually give you more opportunities to have a yes, to have it be successful in some way, but you're also getting better with each step and with each like iteration. So I think it's really important to even see like the art form of that, the art form being that the more you go at something and the more you practice it, obviously the better you'll become, but you are also understanding your style. Like your style is being developed as you're doing more tattoos. And so for you, like, I know that was something at the beginning where you were like, what's my style going to be? And it's you don't actually learn your style, like your unique way of doing things, unless you do a shit ton of it.
And also like I'm year 3 in and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to understand my style. And then it's like, I keep one-upping it and like tweaking it and like pivoting it, you know, and also to like one-off on your like blocking times. Like I can't even like express this enough. Like even just setting aside an hour, you're like, I'm gonna work on my business. Even like sitting and just like thinking, like not even doing anything.
Yes,
like that is creativity in itself too. Like just like you don't feel pressure to be like I gotta like, you know, output like 20 emails. Like sometimes just like sitting, touching some grass and like thinking, like I'm just like
underestimated.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great way of like you don't have to. I mean, it'd be nice to like take some like actionable stuff, but even sometimes like even just allowing space, creating boredom in our already very, very busy schedules allows you to kind of like have that creative.
Touching grass is maybe the most underrated business strategy. Period.
Like, we're keeping it fun out here.
But seriously, like I've been saying lately that I think that our best thoughts come in the shower when we're laying our head on the pillow at night, because it's when we actually have no stimulation for the first time in the day.
Or when you're tattooing.
Or when you're tattooing.
Sorry.
You're staring at the same
I will be like tattooing a client and then I'll be like, oh shit.
You know when my other best ideas come when I'm getting a massage. Because I'm just laying there and I'm like experiencing just like pure euphoria.
Yes.
And then I'm having all these thoughts come in and I was like, man, I hope it's not weird that I'm like sending voice notes to clients right after getting a massage. No, like I just had this idea for y'all. You should try this.
She gets out of a massage and she is voice noting people. She's like, I was thinking about your business, and like she has like all these ideas.
So, like I hope this is not creepy.
So
it's because
I can use it as a write-off, right?
Yeah, exactly. These are like tax strategy hacks right here. We're not
professionals.
We got to give the disclaimers. No, but seriously, it's like when I'm just laying there because I'm not stimulated at all. I think giving ourselves those opportunities to slow down, not be stimulated, sit in the creativity, let all those juices like simmer and figure out what's coming up for us is where we actually get those next strategic moves too.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I call it marinating. Like you can't like you're actively cooking, but then sometimes you gotta let like all the juices like sit, like all the things that you've learned and input into your brain, like let it marinate. That is creativity too, y'all.
I've been asking a lot of the people coming on here if you were to give one big famous last words piece of advice to people that are just starting out or maybe newer in the path of entrepreneurship, what would you drop? Give us the gold.
Damn.
I know. Put you on the spot.
You're going to have to like cut this part out. I'm going to have a nice long thing. I'm joking. No, unedited. That's the way you go.
Yeah.
I would have to say, because I think this is like a realization that I've had recently, that the days add up into weeks and they add up into years. And what you do with each hour is like so incredibly important. And like that's the only thing that you have control over is like what you do right now.
Yeah.
Like it's not, you fretting about the future is not going to do anything. Fretting about the past is not going to do anything. Right now, in this moment, what can I do to get me to where I want to go? And life is full of those. Like,
yeah,
full of thousands and thousands and thousands of those. And you have thousands and thousands and thousands of choices. And if you look at it like that, instead of like, you know, it's passed me by or like I'm worried about it, like do something right now. Another part of my human design chart, like, yeah, be in this moment.
Yeah.
Choose something for your future self and you have control of this moment, you know?
You're good at that. Sometimes you'll save leftovers at dinner and you're like, I'm just thinking about future Bobs.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about future Bobby and how hungry she might be.
She is going to be like, fuck yeah, past Bob is looking over me.
Honestly, though, that's like such a great thing to end on is like, just think about future you and what future you would look back and thank you for.
Yes.
And do that now.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
If you guys want and you want to catch us in Seattle or Thailand or Bali or Singapore or wherever we're going to be, hit us up. Hit us up. We'll be in those areas. We might be in Austin. We might be in Bozeman. I don't know. If any of you guys are around the world, you want us to come visit, give us a comment, drop something, be like, yo, stop by this area. And if we have enough, maybe we'll come by and do an event there or something. Yeah. Outside of that, where else can people find you besides Seattle and Thailand and Bali and all of those things?
You can find me on my tattoo Instagram and you can get tattooed by me because I'm traveling and I'm tattooing. It's inkbobs, ink.bobs. Or OBOBS, OHHBOBS, but you will probably find me linked somewhere in Micah's page. So
that's right.
Bug her. We will probably be together, and yeah, super excited for this.
Same.
I wouldn't put it past us to be like, oh yeah, let's make a pit stop, and like I don't know where you'll. But
I know we're down. We're down. That's something I like really love about our relationship is like I'm typically a crazy visionary dreamer and you are definitely the grounded other half. You're my better half. You are the person that brings me back down to earth and is like, have you breathed? Are you good?
So she's like, I want to do this. And then I'm like, all right, how do we make that happen?
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
you're like, let's actually put rubber to road and figure out the logistics. Yeah, I think we do well together for a lot of those reasons, but I think in general we both are very down people that are down to explore what life has to offer. And I think because of that, we're building the most incredible fucking life, and I'm blown away by it every day. And I think we also approach our relationship with that like curiosity and desire for adventure and desire to keep seeking and understanding each other and loving and knowing each other on a deeper level. And I think that has also made not just the world a cool place to explore, but like our little world that we're creating a beautiful place to explore because we've created safety within that. Now the outside world, we feel like we could take it on. We're like, dude, easy. Absolutely. Easy, because we have this safety that we've created here. And I just want to say that I love you and I'm so grateful for you creating that with me and being a down-ass bitch willing to take on this adventure and explore life together. And thank you for letting me interview.
Yes, I love you too. I'll be your dab any day. I really do feel like we are living the dream life and even more so like living every day like it's our last. And I think I've really wanted to step into that. And we've been able to build that together. And it's so crazy. It's so crazy to me. Like this life was something that I dreamed about a couple of years ago. So
we're doing it. Find your people, create connections, and get after it.
Thank you for letting me guest again. Anytime. I love you.